Closer look at the executive order that President Biden issued on reproductive rights. Tia?
Well, let's talk about it. Today's executive order aims at protecting access to reproductive health services. Stephen Caliendo, professor of political science at North Central College, joins us now to break all of this down. Thank you so much for being with us.
Happy to be here, Tia.
Now, obviously, we know that Biden cannot restore the nationwide right to an abortion. So what does this executive order actually change?
It is primarily symbolic, Tia. The president was under a lot of pressure to do something. This is about as much as I think he was able to do. It does provide some substantive relief in the sense that executive agencies that are under the president's direction can work together and can continue to look for solutions to provide access to the abortion procedure, even in states where it's outlawed. But of course, as the national package that you had a few moments ago indicated, there's going to be attempts by those states to restrict even mail that may contain the pills that would induce the end of a pregnancy. And so we're in for a long fight, a long legal fight. This is just the first step.
Now, if something like that does happen, is there anything that president can do to kind of stop that?
No, there's not going to be much. I mean, I think these things are going to end up in court, and they're going to end up in not right at the Supreme Court, although ultimately it will end up there. But certainly circuit courts are going to have to hear appeals after there are convictions, and it's going to unfold over a long period of time. But there's nothing the president or an executive agency immediately can do to make the protections that they're hoping to achieve by this executive order.
Now, Professor Caliendo, we keep hearing talk of codifying Roe v. Wade. What does that actually mean in the long run?
Well, it means that that Congress could pass a law that would prohibit, that would protect the access to abortion with the same terms that was decided in 1973 in the Roe decision. They could do that by federal law, and if that's the case, then states cannot make laws that contradict federal law. They don't have the votes to do it. Even though the Democrats have both houses of Congress, they don't have enough filibuster-proof majority in the U.S. Senate, and it's clear that at least 2 Democratic senators are not interested in relaxing the filibuster rules to allow that to happen. And so it's going to have to be something that happens with Democratic victories in this year's elections, if that's going to happen at all.
Real quick before we let you go, Professor, you talked about voting. What did you make of the president making his plea to female voters, saying 2 additional pro-choice senators and a pro-choice House is needed to codify Roe?
Well, that's exactly the point, and that's what he was alluding to. He was alluding to the fact that Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema have indicated that they are not in favor of relaxing the filibuster rule. The president's asking for Democratic senators to join and replace Republicans so that there would be 50 votes to change the filibuster rule and allow that legislation to move forward. But, presidents typically lose seats in Congress, especially in their in the midterm of their first term. And so there's an uphill battle there for Democrats to gain control of both houses of Congress with a larger majority than they have now.
All right, Professor Stephen Caliendo with North Central College. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Tia. Have a good day.
All right, you too, Sally and Anthony. I'll send it back